What's the deal, Pickles, and welcome back. So, we are back out here on the CrossKart, and it is finally time to do the rear suspension. John, what do you think? Dual A-arms?
Yeah, now that he's done being sick, I'll come over and hang out.
Yeah.
I didn't want no part of what he had.
I'm out of quarantine. I made it. So, we're going to do a dual A-arm rear suspension. We've got to set up the complete drive line. We finally got all the stuff in to actually do it, I think. Do we have all of it?
I think so.
God, I hope so.
Like everything else, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Exactly. So, that being said, let's get after it.
All right, Colin, what you working on now?
What I'm going to be doing here is we've got these axles for a Mazda Miata that we're going to be using. I've also got, these are just regular go-kart hubs for a 1-inch axle. These are not the way these hubs actually come in. I had a friend of mine machine these down, machined them down flat so that way they'll sit flat up against this. It's not going to sit level right now because I have a zip tie on it. So we'll get this drilled and we'll get these mounted on here, do the same for the other axle, and we'll continue.
Well, I attempted to try cutting this thing straight, but it didn't work out too good. I'm a good marker. I took the marker and I marked a straight line and said, "Here, Colin." So Colin finished cutting them.
Yeah, that's fine.
He cut them a little straighter than I was attempting to.
Well, you got to think I have to do this on an almost daily basis at work.
Yeah, I don't.
So we got those. My problem here is that there's just a little bit of a shoulder from this boot, and I do not want to peel this boot back. So I'm just kind of popping these around it, and then we're going to mount our hub faces.
Well, on the plus side, it keeps them from falling out while you're putting them in there.
That's very true, too. Now, I got to get these started, and I'll finish these off with a wrench. This is going to take forever, so bear with us. Works like it should. Nice. God, that's so cool. We cut these pieces. We have to extend out to match up with the pivot point in these CV axles. We can't go in anymore because it'll interfere with the chain and throw everything off. So we've got to come out, meet up with the center of this pivot point. We're going to have a bar running across here. We'll do the same thing up top, have a bar running across, and then we can build off from there for our A-arms for our independent rear suspension.
And if that doesn't make any sense, you'll see it in a few minutes.
I just welded a magnet to it. Move this one before I weld it too. Instead of cutting the axle down from the Miata to shorten the rear, we're just going to leave them like they are. There's a couple reasons why. One, it's a lot easier to do it that way, and we're kind of lazy when it comes to stuff like that. If we go out to the trails and we break something, it's a lot easier to replace it. We can go up to O'Reilly's and get a Miata axle, or we can go up there, get a Miata axle, come back, cut it, have to find 1-inch pipe to sleeve it with, do all the prep work, make sure it's measured correctly, and that seems like more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. So
we're gonna rock the stock Miata axles, and now we are in the process of designing the rear swing arm. We're getting everything measured up and get it all put together. We'll get some metal cut. I've still got to make tabs. Actually, do I have the metal to make tabs? I don't think I do I?
Don't know. We'll have to look in the scrap pile, see if we have it.
Okay. We're going to run, again, square tube, because we love square tube here. We'll run square tube. We'll get everything centered. We'll get everything aligned. Fully weld everything in. We've still got to get shocks, too. Man, the list just keeps growing on this thing, but it's gonna be worth it. Hey, John, what you got there?
Sandwich.
It's a fat peel. That's a big old fat peel. Look at that thing, man.
Got a sandwich.
Daggone. Alright, we ran into a bit of a problem with these knuckles, but we got it figured out. The bushings, we're going to reuse the ones off of the Polaris Razor, but we were running 1/2-inch bolts, and they were just slightly too big. Couldn't find tubing to fit the inside of it, but we say, hey, copper pipe does the same thing. 1/2-inch bolt, 1/2-inch copper pipe, slide it in there, send her home. So John had to run to the house to get another drill bit. We burn up my 1/2-inch. So while I'm waiting on him, I've been busy. So here's the first one. We got a Heim joint on each end. They're reverse threaded from each other so we can tighten and loosen this as we need. What I did here was I took a piece of 1-inch square tube and dremeled out the end just a little bit, just to give it enough of a flare so that we could then persuade these Heim joints into this tube. So then I just tacked them in once I got them where I needed them, and we can adjust them out. Once I got that part figured out, I made 3 more. So when John gets back, we've got to make the tabs. Here's the first 2 that I did. This is 1/4 inch by 1 inch with a 1/2-inch bolt run through it. We'll get these all in, get them tacked in. We're gonna need 14 more of them, which are right there. So once we get them drilled, we'll get them mounted. This side will be done. Then we get to do that side. Looky here, looky here.
You got me doing some work again.
Yeah, man. I'll let you do something this time.
You caught me. Check this out, y'all. Stick Heim joints in the end of the square tube. We'll fully weld them.
Oh, this is coming along good, man. I'm so stoked for this.
Grab that and push in as you lift up.
Obviously, it's not going to have that much travel.
Yeah, it's going to have about 12 inches of travel is what we're thinking.
Yeah,
We'll shoot for about 10. That way it don't top out and bottom out.
Right. All right, I got one of our pieces of our custom A-arms in the vise here. I'm going to show you our precision method for putting these together.
What you got there, Colin?
I got me a new toy. Got me a drill press. After finally having a bait of almost breaking my hand using a cordless drill,
Yeah.
I said to hell with it. It's not a big one, it's not the best, but it does the job.
Alright, now that we figured out what we're doing, we'll show you what we did.
Our heads are probably going to be in the way, but bear with us here. We'll make it work. When we built this, we did not have an actual pattern for these A-arms. We had all the correct measurements. I'd highly recommend using a jig when building A-arms, independent rear suspensions, anything like that. It will save you a ton of time and headaches in the long run. But because we don't have our shocks on hand, we had to make do with what we had. We can't add the cross braces in until we have the shocks. You can see this took a lot of adjustment, a lot of trial and error. Even after doing the other side, we had a little bit better understanding of what to do on the driver's side, but it still took a lot of work. Yes, it took a lot of time, it took a lot of aggravation and a lot of adjustment, but the closer we got to the end of it and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, the more motivated we got, and in the end, it was worth it. Hey, John, show them that flex. The cart flex.
There you go.
Look at that. Look at that. That's nice. And then we'll get this one right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Dude, I'm so stoked. Look at that. We done it, Bo.
Man, the footprint of this thing looks so good.
I know, right? It's when you first started talking about using the stock length axles, yeah, I understood it, you know, because of, you know, the ease of replacement. But I was like, man, this is going to be so wide in the back, but it just fits so good now. Like, actually seeing it in person. Is this what it feels like to have, like, a proud dad moment?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
That's good, yeah.
So, technically, this CrossKart has 2 dads?
No, we ain't going there.
So, how wide do we got here, Bo? Is she a big girl? She got a booty?
Actually, 6 foot. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be.
It's only 6 feet wide?
It'll fit in the trailer.
Well, we got to start over then. No. Yeah, how wide we got it in the front?
57 inches.
57 inches versus 72.
Yep.
We've still got to put in the shock mounts. That's why everything's not tied together yet back here. We're gonna, once we figure out our shocks, we're gonna have a plate down here, depending on the length of the shock, that goes across the top once these are adjusted. And then we're gonna have to come back and build hoops back here.
For just an example.
Yeah.
We're gonna mount some type of shock. We're gonna do a tower and somewhere like that.
With a spoiler.
Yeah.
Dude, can we do a spoiler?
Yeah. Let's put something on.
Let's do a spoiler.
Let's put something stupid. Have something to look at while we're in front of them.
Kind of hoping I don't have a booger in my nose. All right, so I don't know about you, man, but I am so just.
Heck yes, sir.
I don't even think stoked is the proper word for it. I mean, like.
I used to draw stuff like this in high school.
Right? It's like the kid drawings come to life, but a lot more expensive, and it's a lot more work.
Like as a kid, you were drawing stuff on a paper. You were like, man, it would be nice to have suspension. I'm tired of my back getting beat up. And well,
there it is.
Look, we got a street bike motor, full suspension. I actually got a roll cage and a seatbelt.
It's one of the most dangerous, safe things we've built.
But it's satisfying.
Oh, it's so satisfying, man. You finally see it in person, and you're like, I built that.
Let's just face it. We were at Busco and seen them boys with them cross carts. I gotta have.
Well, that just gave me the kick in the ass that I needed. What that was. Big shout out to KJ Racing.
Yes.
You know, just weird plug, but okay. Finally on all fours. We're still sourcing out shocks.
Actually, if anybody knows of shocks, some budget shocks, let us know.
Perfect.
What you can come up with.
If you've got any suggestions for the rear shocks for this thing, please send us links. If you haven't already, you can like and subscribe. Make sure you use the links in the description to pick up a t-shirt from Mini Bike Apparel or a Rattle Can Customs t-shirt from Stubber Customs. And until next time, y'all get up, get out there, and get after it.